Hello, Renee Flamond here. You guys, what the narcissist thinks about once they're gone, not us. And it's hard for me to say that because, of course, I'm all about concern for you, us, not the narcissist. And I know no one wants to think of the fact that they don't think of us. And you can find a gazillion, billion, trillion videos telling you just the opposite. Allow me to explain. They tell you how the narcissist deals with the loss of you. They tell you how the narcissist will obsess over you. They tell you how the narcissist regrets losing you. How the narcissist, etc., etc., etc. I can't help think, and I've watched all of them, and I needed to hear all of them when I was going through that, right? But I can't help think that these kinds of videos have us in mind, just like I do, and they mean well insofar as they're trying to lessen the blow for us, and they do their job because some of them help me, right? You want to think they're obsessing over you. You want to think that they're thinking about you. You want to think that they regret losing you. They want to think that you're the one that got away. They want to think, okay, fine. But all they truly think about, the narcissist, is themselves. They're not even really thinking of their current person either. Other than insofar as how much that current person can give to them. How that current person can do more for them. How they can make the current person do more for them. What deal or scheme can the narcissist enact to get more for their life? What's going to feed my ego today, since this one over here is mad at me again? The reality I'm trying to get us to grasp is the thoughts they have are indeed ongoingly about themselves. They don't obsess past the point they're over-obsessing. Not over-obsessing, too much obsessing, but they will obsess for a little while, meaning, this is what I mean. It'll seem like they are at first, what with the drastic measures of hoovering, knocking on your door, sending you flowers, whatever they're trying to do. But remember, none of that seemingly obsessed behavior, obsessed about you behavior, is really about you, me, us, at all. So once they're over it, they're over the obsessing part, I don't really think they go forth and pay us much thought or mind at all. The behavior that they exhibit when they are obsessing in those aforementioned ways of hoovering and whatnot, that's about them trying to get you to behave back in a certain way. That behavior is about them getting their way, breaking us down, winning. We've talked a lot about that. To say they're in hot pursuit of us post-breakup is about them obsessing over the loss of us is a tremendous untruth. I'm sorry. It is. It's misleading to think that they're pining away, which is what they'll say to sell it to you. Mine, after one of the first breakups, was like, it was within 2 months. I should have left it there, right? Told him to take anything that, stuff accumulates around your home when you're seeing somebody often. And I was like, take it all, da-da-da. After that, he was all, I lost 13 pounds. I've never chased anyone. I can't live without you. Now, I look back and I think, are you kidding me? Please. If he lost 13 pounds, if that were even true, It wasn't anything to do with me throwing him to the curb. No, I'm sorry. He was trying to sell that as evidence that he was just so broken up. But they don't get broken up inside their heart like we do. A non-disordered person does. They get broken up inside their ego. That's how they get broken up. Inside their id that needs to win. Inside that part, their part that can't stand rejection. That's where they're broken up. And it, twists them up to be rejected, to lose anything, to not be winning. So they have to undo that rejection, fix it, even if it's only to blow it up again. But this time, if they blow it up again, they will have blown it up. So perhaps that's a bit more acceptable to them. They can't, and very often do not, allow it to land on you discarded them. That's like unacceptable. How dare you? Who's discard me? Who are you to discard me? The narcissist, right, is thinking that. Because they think of themselves as everyone would want them. What do you mean you don't want me? So they're going to act like they're broken up and portray themselves that way to get you to go, oh, he really cares about me. Oh, I've never had anyone say that to me before. Some of them are very good at the cunning little phrases and things that they might say, and they might actually portray themselves as being so enlightened now that you left them, and I've learned so much, and I didn't know that I would feel this way if you weren't here. But after you broke up with them, or there was a parting of ways, you think they were just pining away, like alone for a year, doing nothing? They show that in the movie Sex and the City, which, please, I'm obsessed. I watched the whole series when it was out. I've watched it many times since. I watched both movies. I haven't seen the new one because I just don't have HBO Max, but I'll get to it. But they show in one of the movies, was it the first one, after the wedding got broken off? And Big is a narcissist from a mile away, although they had a fairy tale ending, okay? But let's face it, if you watch the series, my God. But they show him after the wedding sitting alone, and they go through time, and they just show him alone. They show him alone at a bar eating a steak, on New Year's Eve alone. There's no way on God's green earth a narcissist is remaining alone after you discarded them. They need a Band-Aid. They need to fix that. They need to feel better. And I love Big. I love the whole show. I don't care if it's realistic or not. I don't care anything about it. I love it. So, but I don't think that that's an accurate portrayal of someone who I think reeks of being a narcissist. Although, like I said, it's a fairy tale type thing that they make it into. There's no narcissist that's sitting alone pining away for us after we leave them. They're running right back out to get new. Of course they are. They don't know any other way. They can't be alone in life. Figure out their path. Wait for you. Try to woo you. Like you're going to break up with them and you think, okay, well, if they do this, and this, then I would take them back. If they prove this, that. They're not going to. They don't feel like it. They don't feel they have to. They're going to find someone who's less work. They're going to find someone who has less demands on them. They're going to find someone who doesn't have any parameters for them. Maybe they look the other way. Maybe they allow the narcissist to have all the space they need. Maybe they're going to find someone who's another narcissist doing the same thing. But they're not pining away for us. They're not pining away for us. And I think a lot of the videos that are entitled as such, that they, here's how the narcissist is hurting for you, the narcissist is obsessing over you. Once they do move on, other than giving us a passing glance in their minds, just like you do any other memory in your life as part of a list Other than that kind of thing, I just don't see the narcissist sitting with new supply thinking about us. I just don't. And that's okay with me. That should be and will eventually be okay with you, because you might just be going through it and you might be relying on those videos and they might be making you feel better to think that he's thinking about you. My ego, my insides, my brain, I don't need him thinking about me. Now, I don't. I'd prefer it actually if he did not. Because I don't even want my energy tied to him in that way. That his thought is traveling to me and there's an invisible line like connecting us still. Ew. Icky kaka poo poo gross. No, I want complete freedom from that person, and that includes me taking up any space in his broken mind. He's lost me. We are not, I don't want any of that. And he doesn't care. They go from one to another, to another, to another, to another. I got an email 3 weeks ago. I think I mentioned this to you. And in the subject said, love you. In the subject. There was no email. Just in the subject. Of course, I ignored it. But what does that tell you? Just in the subject? What does it take to type love you in the subject, have no body or composition, and just send it to Renee Flamond, send. Go up, erase Renee Flamond, put another name, send. Go up, put another name, send. That's how I picture it. What else would that mean? You get just an email with just the subject? Love you. Yeah, okay. Are you out of your mind? So no, I don't think that he's 3 hours away. He's not thinking of me. He's thinking of ways to manipulate the new person he's with. He's thinking of ways to manipulate how to get out and get his own groove going behind her back. He's thinking of ways to manipulate his new world. I'm not in it. And like I said, might they give a passing glance the same way we do anything that was in our life? I was in his life. So, and during Corona. So for the rest of his days, if anyone talks about Corona, yeah, I'm sure I'll pop into his mind. Where were you during Corona? Like, you know what I mean? That's a question that's going to linger forever. We'll all talk about that. Just like, where were you 9/11? Where were you when, you know what I mean? We'll always talk about that with each other. Where were you during Corona? How did you spend your Corona? 20 years from now, we'll be discussing that. So I guess in that way, I'll be on his mind. But I don't think they're like, oh, they're not capable of it. They're not capable of that, of feeling that deeply. They just have limitations in that regard. So what they're thinking about going forward is the same thing they were thinking about the whole time they were with you. Themselves. And that's what I mean when I say they're not thinking of us. And I'm not trying to make anyone feel bad. Because like I say, I understand and I know that, we all want to, I'm just noticing something I'm not liking up here. We all like to think that we mattered to people. But I think what we have to keep into perspective is that this person is extremely dysfunctional. And yes, you have, strong feelings, especially if the discard is new and you're in the middle of the back and forth and you still think you love them. And I'm not trying to minimize it and say that you don't. I'm not saying that. But I do think that when you're in the thick of that, you want to hold on so tightly to the fact that they do miss you, so that when they hoover you, you think that they mean what they say. And that is very, very dangerous. I held on to that and relied on that concept for a very long time, longer than I should have. If I had been told a year prior to when I finally learned it that, no, you know what, he's moved on. Not factually somebody that knew him, he's moved on. But if somebody, an expert said, no, they're absolutely not thinking of you. They've moved on in their life. That's what I believe. That's what I believe. Because the math doesn't add up. You take all the description we now know of this person, this disorder, their habits, their wheelhouse of behavior, their cycle, it doesn't add up. And when I was with him, sure, I found conversations going back from when I met him to the girlfriend before me. Yeah, absolutely. He was still in communication, telling her, I love you and all this. Never saw her, was never going to go see her, was never going to see her again in his life. And he wasn't pining away for her. I can tell you that he wasn't. That's not what the texts were. They were like one-liners, but he kept the door open because that's what they do. If somebody's pining for you, they'll come for you. There's nothing stopping anybody. Are you kidding me? If their behavior is dictating that they've now moved forward and they're not with you any longer, they're not sitting at a bar eating a steak like Big was in that movie. They're not. They're with someone else. And I love that he was alone, because then I was like, oh, they're going to get back together. Because you know me, I like a Hollywood ending. You bet. You bet. Absolutely, it's the movies. I want a Hollywood ending. Right? So I didn't want it to be that Big continued, but he devalued Carrie plenty in that series. Of course he did. I feel that it is beneficial for us going forward. It is more beneficial for us going forward to hear this truth of possibility. At least let it enter your mind that they really might have just moved on. That doesn't mean you were insignificant. It has nothing to do with you. That's the thing that I think people are nervous about. That doesn't mean I'm insignificant. I'm more significant than he could ever imagine in his life. I don't feel the need for him to know that. I don't feel the need for his dysfunctional self to validate that. I know I'm significant. I know I'm magnificent. I don't need him thinking about me later as evidence that I mattered to him. I did matter to him in so, you know, within the world that we had. You know what I'm saying? But deep down inside, they don't have a deep down inside. They have extreme limitations when it comes to that. So I just wanted to mention this, you guys. And I'm not trying to break your heart if you're trying to hold on to the fact that he really is still thinking about you. What I'm trying to do for you is fast forward your healing. Past this misguided period during which you'll gravitate towards those videos because you want to think they're true. You want to think, oh, he's still hurting over me. He's still obsessing over me. It doesn't even make sense. A narcissist doesn't over anybody. Not anybody. Just themselves. I just wanted to mention it. Please, I'm so sorry if I hurt your feelings or if you're trying to hang on to that. I really am concerned with healing and trying to move you through the muck. And that muck kept me occupied falsely for a year. Thinking, oh yeah, he's still thinking of me. He's still calling me. He's still saying these things. He's still coming by. He still wants to be with me. Well, then why are they not with you? Then why are they away from you? Then why are they with other people? Then why are they treating you the way... Do you know what I mean? I just wanted to mention it. Please go ahead and hit sub, like, and share, and I will see you next time.